Week 3 of the NFL season's among us. And it's starting to get close to that time where we're going to start seeing who's going to be maybe not pretenders, contenders, but your season's starting to, get into the balance. We're going to have a couple more weeks in there, but I was like, it's starting to shape up to where it's like this. You should be in rhythm up against a little bit of your team or whatnot, you know. I was like, man, it's already week 3. It just seems like yesterday. The season was just starting, and we had all hopes, and now some people just have draft picks in mind, and that's crazy. I was like, the team can still turn it around, like you at least got. I mean, by the time you get to the deadline, maybe. But anyway, week 3, we're gonna go with the picks and what I feel like who's gonna win in my little, I guess, short chain analysis. Anyway, Bills and Commanders. I was like, this seemed like this should be a fun game. You got Josh Allen, redeeming himself last week, after his week 1 debacle. But versus the Commanders, who playing pretty well, and Howell is on fire, and the defense, they're coming ready to play. And I'm gonna go with the upset here. I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I think the Commanders is gonna come out here 3-0 and push the Bills to 1-2. And I think how Bieniemy, I was like the offense, the running game, I was like the defense where they could just go at you with 4 linemen, and they got quite a bit. I think Buffalo is going to have their hands full, and it's going to be a tougher sledding than I think most people would have thought. Dolphins and Broncos. I was like Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. I was like the offense has been pretty good. I was like the defense has given like the teams some hope. Speaking of the Commanders, who I was talking about, they was up on them and they let the Commander come back in. Um, I was I was I was like, but on the other hand, I was like, you got Tua and you got Hill, and then you got the Patriots, who Patriots sort of had them, not playing up to they level of play as far as like that wild just like launching a gunslinger, that Tua been playing, but Tua still was able to carve them up. And that's why I think it's going to happen here. I'm going to pick the Dolphins to carve up the Broncos and put Russell Wilson and Payne at 0-3. I was like, they've been playing good, but you also don't have some stiff competition here at the same time. Chargers and Vikings, 2 donut teams right now. Neither one got a win, and both of them have had chances to win in their games and haven't. One of them weird ones because I was like, you would feel like the Chargers should easily win, but the Chargers do what the Chargers do best. They charge it up, and I don't think that's going to happen here. I think the Chargers is finally going to get their first win. I was like, I don't think it's going to be easy or not like that. This should really be a shoot 'em out type of game. They both got like really like high end offenses, and the Vikings defense has been a lot better than I think what people say. They don't really break that much, even though I was like, but anything is an improvement compared to last year. And the Chargers, I was like, it's like they sort of weird. They're sort of different. They sort of break, but don't. I was like, but bend, because I was like, they'll let you back in the game quite a bit too. But I think Herbert will do just enough to get them to win here. Colts and Ravens. Anthony Richardson, I don't know if he's going to play here. Even if he does play, I don't think that's going to matter at all against his Ravens team. Their defensive, I was like, defensive squad going against a rookie. I was like, I already feel that sort of for a disaster. And plus, Richardson is basically just going to just be doing what Lamar has done. So I feel like they're already prepared for that. And also, the way this Ravens team is sort of playing on offense, I feel like right now they're just in a rhythm where they're running the ball, throwing the ball. I like Zay Flowers is just always just seemingly to get open. Lamar's over here putting them in right into the spot. Like I said, the offense had been crazy explosive, but they have showed the dynamic of what we sort of thought would come in play with this offense. So I'm picking the Ravens to win this game at the same time. Falcons and Lions. Another game I think is going to be a shoot 'em out type of game. I think, even though I think they both got really good defenses, I think their offense is just that good. Where I think you're going to start out slow. I think they're both going to feel themselves. We're going to be like that 10-7 type of game, and then they're just going to explode. I was like, they both got premier offenses with like the running backs. Whether that's Bijan and Aguilar on Atlanta, or I was like that's Gibbs and Montgomery on the Lions. I was like, they each got a set of receivers. I was like, they mainly got their star of St. Brown and they got their star of London. Of course, they got Pitts, which I was like, they got a new tight end, so it's like, but Goff slings the ball around quite a bit and gets everybody involved, and so does and Ritter has been coming on stronger. Each week, and I don't think this being different. I think it's going to come down to which defense decides to stop him. And I was like, and that's why I'm also going to pick Atlanta to take this game because I feel like their defense will come up with the stop in order to knock off the Lions and Golf in this one. Patriots and Jets. This seems like a game that, hey, if you want to bet on the lower end, this is how this is going to go. Both good defenses, and that's how this game seems like it's going to be, where it's going to be a real defensive game, and the offense is going to be like, who can score? I feel that's how I feel like this game is going to go. It's basically who is able to actually generate points. Now, I was like, we're going to see how Zach Wilson, if they run the ball more, if they're able to, I was like, get Garrett Wilson a little bit more involved. And I was like, Mac Jones, on the other hand, is also just going to have to, they're just going to have to process down the field. But this might just also just come down to a kicking fest. I was like, they'll each score, but I don't think it's going to be nothing where it's just going to just be like, oh, I was like, I'm expecting like 17 points maybe. Like I said, both of their defenses are good. I was like, if the Jets can run the ball, which I feel like that's what Belichick's going to make, they're going to take away because he's going to be like, Zach was going to have to throw. And they're also going to make Mac Jones throw. So, whoever just get the police. So this, I don't see this as a big scoring fed. I don't see this as like a great game, depending on, not from an offensive standpoint. Defense, yes, it'll be a good game. And I'm going to pick the Patriots here. I don't feel too confident about that one. Don't put any bets on that one on my behalf. Saints and Packers. This should also be a really good game. They're probably the next tier of balanced teams. After you probably get past like the Niners, Cowboys, Philly, they're probably the next tier after that. I was like this. I haven't really been impressed with the Saints, at least on the offensive end. The defense has been solid. I was like, it seemed like they'll hold off until the offense is able to just start going. But I think Love is going to take this game, and I think the Packers are going to win. I think after they should have won against Atlanta last week and they didn't, that they're pretty much going to just come into the same game with the same game plan. And I think the defense for the Packers is a little bit stronger than New Orleans defense against Carr, and I think the Packers is going to have a more overall balanced game against New Orleans, who hadn't really been able to successfully, outside of Hill, they haven't been able to run the ball crazy. And guess what? After a while, you just sort of know what Hill's going to do or whatnot. But I'm gonna pick the Packers with this one. Texans Jaguars. I don't even think that. I was like, it's going to be Jaguars. There ain't really much to say here. The Texans just sort of just look like, you got a rookie team pretty much. Rookie head coach, rookie quarterback. I was like, they're doing all the good stuff, but you can just tell they're in the early stages of their process. And with that, I was like, they're just taking their lumps right now. I was like, they'll be in the game at the beginning or whatnot. But after a while, I was like, the defense for the Jaguars is just going to shut down Stroud and the offense. And Lawrence and Ridley have been sort of on a tear, and they got enough weapons over there in order to take out the Texans. So we're gonna go to the Jaguars here. Browns and Titans. The Titans sort of reverted back to their old self there. Tannehill sort of showed that he does got some trick for an old dog. Um, I was like, Deshaun Watson is still being like rusty or whatever. I guess if you want to say rusty. They ain't got Nick Chubb before, but they would run the ball really good against the Steelers, and that was a really top defense. The Titans don't have the same defense as the Steelers, but I was like, but they are very active running the ball. But on the other hand, the defense for the Cleveland Browns are also really just that good. I'm gonna go with Cleveland because of their defense. I think they're gonna end up getting Tannehill in a lot of situations. Garrett is a beast, and I think that's what's gonna really cost the game in this one. So I'm gonna go with Cleveland for that. Panthers and Seahawks. Bryce Young is not gonna play. It's gonna be Andy Dalton. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here, but I think that the Panthers will keep it pretty close. I was like, their defense is really good, and I was like, they were going to really keep a lot of this game close, whether or not Bryce Young how well he was going to play or not. I think Dalton is just going to probably do a better job of, just because he's a veteran in this situation. He didn't play bad with New Orleans last year, and I think he's just going to do a better job of just getting a lot of those players ready to go and ready to play, and putting them in spots and stuff like that, just because he's a vet, and it's like the ball just going to come out and he's just going to know where to go, instead of Bryce Young that's still sort of filling the field and seeing where defense are going to go and the speed of everything. But I think the Seahawks win this game, but I don't think it's going to be anything easy. I was like, in this format. Bears and Chiefs. I don't think we have to say anything. I feel like it's going to be the Chiefs. Kind of hoping out that the Bears make it competitive and make it a game. I was like, it's not strong enough for me to say like upset or anything like that. But I was like, but I think the Bears are going to come out and actually make it a game. I think the Chiefs will end up winning because the defense for the Bears isn't good. But I think the offense is going to play a lot better and keep it as a game. And then Mahomes is going to Mahomes pretty much at the end. Yeah, those Chiefs. Cowboys and Cardinals. This is another one that's not a discussion. I was like, maybe the Cardinals would have pulled out to get the Giants. No, even they would have beat the Giants, I still wouldn't have gave this much a game. I was like, Trayvon Diggs is out for the season, and that really, really sucks, especially for any of their, because I was like, because now you have somebody on the back end that could take care of whatever the mistake is that they get scared from Parsons. But Cowboys still got a really fast and top defense. Dak is still really good on offense. They still got all their weapons. They're gonna just pretty much, I was like, they're gonna beat the Cardinals. I think at the beginning of the game it's gonna be a slow process game, and then I think the Cowboys are gonna end up whipping away. Almost like sort of how they played against the Jets, where it was slow at first, and then after that they just took over and they just won. And then the Steelers and the Raiders. This is probably just gonna be a difficult game because I was like, the Raiders haven't really been crazy on offense. I was like, they've been moderate. But I was like, and the Steelers got a really top and good defense. I know I said that like quite a lot, but I was like, there's been actually a pretty good amount of defense so far this year. But on the other hand, I was like, even though the Raiders defense, they haven't been like, great against the Steelers, and that offense, they don't have to be great. The Steelers haven't been good on offense, to be honest. They got good receivers, they got good running backs. They just can't take it, and in that particular anywhere. And I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I was like, I just feel like the defense and Mike Tomlin is going to pull out a win, and do something like how they did at Cleveland, where they just take out the offense in a way that just gives their offense enough to do to try to win. I was like, but I also wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders win, to be honest. Yeah, so that's going to go. Anyway, that's my pick for Sunday night. I mean, not Sunday night, but the Sunday to Sunday night games for week 3. Yeah, I was like, except for like 2 of them, I was like, don't place no bet. But other than that, I feel solid about my picks. I was like, I'm right. I'm right all the time. At least like 95% or something. You know, I was like, that's pretty high up there. That's an A in my book. Anyway, I was like, if you agree with any of my picks, I was like, let me know, or any of my analysis. Go ahead and tell me. I was like, if you like the video, hey, thanks. But if not, hey, maybe next time. But until then, have a solid week 3 of the NFL.